Yo, what up, guys? Beside you here. This is my champion spotlight for Razelvarg, a champion who was released recently into the game in April, I think, as a fusion, and a lot of us got him then, but right now, this month is when I finally built him, and I'll show you why I tend to use him in my end game account. I'll also be recommending some builds you can use in the early game. First of all, his character design looks like he has two heads. He does not have two heads. If you can look behind right here, it's just a cloak. He killed a wolf and he's wearing the wolf as another second head right here. So it's a rabbit, like a werewolf rabbit. So that's his character design, special champion for what he brings into the game. He's fast. That's what I can describe him as, according to what I've seen others say about him. But you see from his A1, right, this champion attacks one enemy 3 times. Each hit fills his turn meter by 5%. You see what I mean? He's fast. He's just trying to get a lot of turns. So each hit, when he hits 3 times, that's a 15% turn meter fill. He does not reduce the turn meter of the enemy. He just fills his own turn meter. So that means he'll be able to go again. His damage is based on attack and speed. I've never seen a champion base his damage on speed that he has, but that's it right here. He increases his damage, I guess, by the amount of speed he has. Now, I'm not trying to build this champion for damage, and I'll tell you why in my champion build right here. 110 speed is not slow. That's mid level, I guess, not 115. I know it's actually above average. 110 speed is well above average, because I think 115 is the highest speeds we've seen in raid. Now, for the A2, this champion attacks all enemies, 75% chance of placing leech. It will be 100% chance of placing leech when you have books on him. Heals this champion by 10% of his own max HP. So he's not going to heal all the team, but he's going to heal himself alone by 10% of his max HP for each leech debuff placed by this skill. So that's going to be 10, 20, 30, like a 50% heal of his max HP right here if leech is placed on all the enemies when you're coming against waves. Now against bosses, it might just be just a single 10% heal right here. It's not a consistent or a reliable way of healing, but I guess leech, by just doing some damage, proccing some damage, you'll be able to heal a little bit from leech. That means this champion can keep himself alive for wave clearing, maybe. So does that make him a candidate for solo farming? Maybe. Now for his A3, this champion attacks all enemies. He places increased speed. Now this is the best skill I wanted. I wasn't that impressed with the A2, but this is the A3 that whenever you see increased accuracy in raid and increased speed, 2 buffs on all your allies that you need desperately in every content, especially for hard content or even for Hydra content, hard mode dungeons, Hydra content. You need that increased accuracy and increased speed, else your other allies might not have enough speed to go first or turn around to their skills, or have enough accuracy to debuff the enemies. So these are the 2 things a lot of people will use him for in teams. When you see him in anybody's teams, it's either is boosting the accuracy of your debuffers or increasing their speed with a buff right here. So that's the 2 things. That's why I built him for my team, and I'll show you how I use him. He even replaced one champion that I used earlier. All right. Now this damage is also based on attack and speed. And for the aura, which makes it even better, the icing on the cake is that each increased speed buff placed by this champion increases his own speed by 5. It can be up to 100% speed increase. That means while the battle is going on, this champion probably started the battle with 120. Well, after you build him, maybe you can get up to 200 speed, 300 speed. He adds an additional 100 speed to his already existing speed that you built on him from this passive. Increased speed buff placed by this champion up to 5%. 5 for each speed placed. So that's what he's known for right here. We'll say it in battle. You might not be seeing the stats happening, but when you begin to see him take numerous turns in battle, don't be surprised. This is the passive just kicking in if the battle lasts that long. If he's placing increased speed, others place it will not work, so you don't want to pair him with somebody else who has increased speed. Now he also has an aura that can be used everywhere. Like I said, it's not just a champion built for one content, Doom Tower or Hydra or dungeon. No, it can be used everywhere as a champion you put in your leader slot, especially when you're trying to go fast. That's speed is one of still the best aura you can have in your leader slot in raid. So he's the best candidate for that content right here, because other champions who already have, like a Duchess and others, have their aura at like 19%, right? Including what's the name, High Cartoon and others. So that's Razelvarg, Skinwalker's faction champion. Of course, he will be great for that faction war. And it's totally worth all the books you can put on him. I'll show you how I built him right now for my account. The first time I'm using this champion in my team right now will be in a build for Relentless. Like I said, this is a champion that benefits from speed. Is either he's doing increased speed for you or he's doing increased accuracy. It's quite unfortunate that he's not doing decreased turn meter for the enemies. Had it been he was doing that decreased turn meter for the enemies, it will even be more crazy for him to lap them. He's also not doing any turn meter boosting for your allies. So he's just making himself go fast and go fast and go fast. For what? For more increased speed, for more increased accuracy for your allies, I guess. So your increased accuracy and increased speed will never run dry from your team, I guess. That's why I put him in a Relentless set so he can go again and again and again. Now, the only way he's going to be probably doing damage on my team especially is from the Mastery. So damage is not what I went for. Depending on the content where you use this champion will determine the type of artifact sets you want to put on him. For beginner players, I always highly recommend speed gear. Triple speed is the best way to go for newer players who are coming into the game. If you do not have any other better artifact sets, this is probably the best way to go for a champion who needs this high amount of speed. Now, if you want to use him for as a damage dealer, I have not done a damage test. I have not seen him being used as a damage dealer. Maybe for clan boss, I've seen some people use him for clan boss because that triple hit on that A1 and it can ramp up the damage a lot. He can be built as a damage dealer for clan boss if you don't have any other better alternatives. But his buffs that he brings to my team are not that type of buffs I need for clan boss. That's why I'm not using for that content. Instead, he'll be more suited for the demon lord. For Hydra instead of the demon lord. He'll be more suited for that content. So for early game, speed. Since this champion does not deal with a lot of debuffs, there is a, some people will say put accuracy on him. Some people will say he doesn't need accuracy. It all depends on you. Remember, his only skill that needs accuracy is this leech right here. His A3 does not need accuracy. His A1 does not need accuracy. So he fills his own turn meter. So none of his other skills need accuracy except this one. So is that enough reason to give this champion accuracy banner or an accuracy gear? Because I wanted to mention the second type of gear that a lot of newer players will put on him is accuracy or perception, but that's kind of debatable whether you want accuracy for that leech or not. Did I even see the second part of that skill? It heals him. So if you don't have leech out there, he will not heal. So I guess that's one reason to get some accuracy on him. It all depends on you, but I will highly recommend speed for the early game build. Now for the end game build, either you're going for damage if you want him for doing damage in Demon Lord or for dungeons, but I don't want him doing damage, so I went with either any set that will make him take his turn again and again and again. And that type of set that most people will normally use on a champion you want to use a lot of turns is either Reflex, so you can begin to use those skills again and again, or Relentless set. Those are the two I've always seen Razelvarg being built in, and some self-sustaining is happening here from my own gear. No self-sustain. He's going to be doing a little bit of healing, so I did put some accuracy on mine because I want him to self-sustain a little bit for the wave content at least. So is there any other set that I would recommend you guys? What artifact set are you running on your Razelvarg? Righteous will always be available for those spenders who can get good set of this. It also has a little bit of speed going for it. And then of course, perception if you need accuracy a little bit. But Relentless is the MVP that I'm currently using on mine, and he will stay in that Relentless set from now till wherever I use him. He will always be in Relentless set. So now for Masteries, let me just show some of the artifact sets before I move on. I'm looking for speed. You can see I'm not even looking for crit rate or crit damage. I'm just looking for speed on all these artifacts right here. Even attack on the glove. If I was looking for damage, I would go crit damage on the glove or crit rate, but I just went for something that has speed and accuracy, and of course speed boots right here. And then for the banner, I did go accuracy and defense with a little bit of high amount of accuracy, and then HP to help him survive. Total stats you're looking at on this champion that I built, 38k HP is not that high, but for the content I need him for, he's not going to be needing it. Check out the attack. That's a lot of attack. I guess because I went glove on an attack glove, that's why it has that high amount of attack. But the crit rate is nothing to be taken home about. I mean, I didn't focus on crit rate. I didn't focus on damage. But if you can squeeze in, maybe reduce that attack and put in crit right here, it might be that better, but my speed might be low. So 253 speed, that's what I was able to obtain. Some people even building over 262 280 speed, and it just runs up and begins to go a lot of tons. So it depends on what type of artifact set you have. If you can get 200 on this champion, that's a good place to start. 180 200 is the perfect place, I would say, for newer players. But for endgame players, you can go over 200 250. For the content, endgame content, I use him in 250 is just the right path for him to start the battle before the boss takes a turn. All right, now for his accuracy, for the endgame content, dungeon hard content, I went over 370 accuracy. This will also help me a little bit in Hydra if I intend to use him for that content. I didn't focus on resistance because he's not like my number one priority for Hydra. Right now is dungeon hard mode that I intend to use him in. All right, that's my Razelvarg total stat. Check out his masteries right here. Since he's just going for a little bit of accuracy and buffing, this is the best set you need on anybody who is placing buffs on your allies. This is the best one. He benefits from the most from the support tree. And then for those players who are going to be using for the Hydra or the dungeon or even the Demon Lord, you want to always go Giant Slayer on any champion in raid who has that triple hit on his A1, and he falls within that category that benefits a lot from Giant Slayer Masteries. You can find more options for PvP options on Masteries options on Hade's website, where I also saw this one from. All right, now for what do you call it, blessing, you want to go with Brimstone, or I've never seen this champion being used in PvP for Soul Reap, but Brimstone will be the best one for PvE content, Dungeon Hydra and all that. It's time for me to test out my Razelvarg in content, and I'll show you just one content where I built him for. No need to even show a beginner level content because he just does the same thing. He just does the same thing. If you want to see just his skills in battle, let me just test him in this content before we go over to the end game content. He'll be in the leader slot as always. Like I said, he has a better aura than any of these other champion you used to use before. Let's just run it. Oh, I don't even have keys to run it. All right, that's Razelvarg. Starting the battle on auto, he will go with probably his increased accuracy for us and increased speed. Let me see what he does. Yep, that's what he does. And I didn't build it for damage, but he critted on all those enemies. But yeah, he places the buffs on us and also hits the enemies. I thought he just places a buff, so this skill actually hits, and Duchess will not do anything. I just want to see what he actually does. He started with the A3. Now I can't see his speed, but by the time he ramps up with all these buffs that he has on us, he will be able to get more speed. And that's his A2. So they do a little bit of damage if you build some damage on him. Let me see the A1. I just want to see his skill animation. This one is already available. Didn't we just use this just now? It's on a 3-turn cooldown. We are running laps around this enemy. That's what it means. Let me use the A1 and see how it looks. 1, 2, 3. So he hits 3 times and boosts his own turn meter. All right, that's what his skills look like in battles. Let me put in a full team where I intended to use him, Razelvarg, joining my Fire Knight hard mode team. Yes, if you need somebody for increased accuracy and speed, that's not the Fire Knight. He can be in your team. He is an MVP right here. I've seen him being used in Fire Knight hard, yes, with some other champions. All right, onto Fire Knight hard mode where I intend to use Razelvarg. I'll just test him out in this sample team to see if it works out well for me. I have other champions I have to put together with him, but he is the leader slot right here, replacing my Lydia who I had before right here in this team. So let me see if it's successful. I still have one more champion to build for that team before I begin to push to 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. But I feel like Razelvarg is a champion that will make it a lot faster for me. He has boosted my teams up. Has he taken a turn already? There he goes, finally taking a turn. Others were faster than him, I think. And yeah, he's boosting us up, making sure we have enough accuracy. Now, with this amount of increased accuracy coming into your allies, that means you could actually dial down the amount of accuracy you built on them because you are trying to reach accuracy requirements for this team. So that's something to consider. If you're going to have a consistent increased accuracy champion like this, you might want to build less accuracy for your champions. That's something that will be nice. I'll just fast forward all the way to the boss. When we get to the boss, let's see how he opens up right there. I think we've already seen all the skills that he brings in right here. I'll see you at the boss. All right, now we're on to the boss, and for my preset for his skills, I did tell him to start the battle with his A1. So let's just put it on slow speed and see how this battle goes for this wave. He's the fastest. Yes, we said it that this champion, by the time we get here, he has ramped up his speed with his passive. You know, initially when the battle started, he was not the fastest, but now he's the fastest in the team, opening the battle with his A1 and hitting 3 hits for that shield right here. So let's see if he's one of the champions that gets added to the hit. He's not. He is. So that's the shield down. So his triple hit on that A1 makes sure he's one of the champions that helps take down the shield a lot faster. What is he going to be doing for us? Increase speed, I hope. But he used it at the end of that battle. I don't think I even need this freeze champion anymore. He doesn't have enough accuracy to land that leech. I just want to see when he uses his skill. Increase accuracy, increase speed. You need it to stay in tune with the boss. And with all these other champions keeping the turn meter down consistently, Razelvarg is one of the champions that makes them boost their speed with that buff on them and increase accuracy to make sure they don't get resisted in higher levels. Now, if I have enough accuracy to beat 5, doesn't mean I'll have enough accuracy for the boss when it gets to 6, 7, 8, or 9. 10, but with this increased accuracy, I don't need to improve my accuracy on any of these champions, rather maybe increase their speed and reduce their accuracy. So that's something to see that he works fine for this team. I know I'm having decreased defense. I thought I had weakened from some other champion right here. I still need to work on the amount of debuffs I'm bringing in right here to take this boss down faster. But Razelvarg is the champion that I've seen most endgame players use who are already beating Fire Knight on hard mode 10. For now, I have not gotten to that level, but I'm hoping he's the one of my staple champions that will get me there. So if you have a Razelvarg, you know how to use him right now. For the early game, use him everywhere, including the Hydra. And then for the end game players, you see him most likely being used in the Hydra or being used in this Fire Knight hard mode. So let me know how you built your Razelvarg and where you use him in raid. Do you still use him in Demon Lord, or you're just using him only in Fire Knight also? He's fully booked on my account, and I hope to use him for a long time for this Fire Knight hard 10, which is kind of impossible for a lot of players to build stats to reach. But he makes it a lot easier, increase accuracy, increase speed. That's Razelvarg, Champion Guide and Spotlight. I know I did not showcase him in any other content, but this is where I intend to use him right here to help me get to Fire Knight hard mode 10. And I'll tell you guys the full team that made it possible. For now, I'm still putting it together, the pieces, and one other champion is waiting for books to add to this team. Help me hit like, subscribe to my YouTube channel for more daily raid Shadow Young's content. I'll see you guys in the next one. You can comment below the next champion you want me to take a look at, and I'll do it for you guys later.